Okay, so for this one, we will answer yung prelim natin. So basically, yung part 1, which is yung identification of stability or determinacy, is different for each student kasi gumawa ako ng 15 sets for that. So sasagutan natin yung lahat ng external, internal, tsaka overall stability niya for each structure. And then for the uh, part 2 or problem solving, the same problem is given to all students, no? So let's start. So for this one, the first one natin, so we have yung external determinants natin. Okay, so para yung maganda yun. Okay, so we have a frame na meron siyang fixed na support and then meron siyang tatlong hinge, no? Internal hinges dun sa kanyang uh, mismong structure. So alam natin na kung fixed to, we have three support reactions dito. Okay? Okay, so yung uh, external natin will be 6 minus 3 or indeterminate dun sa third degree. Okay? Indeterminate, uh, statically indeterminate third degree. Okay? Then yung ating internal stability will be 3 hinges. So that will be n minus 1. So that is, ano eh? So n minus 1 tapos naka-time siya ng 3. No? Kung ilan yung naka-connect na parts. So each part naman tigda dalawa. Okay? So that will be 2 minus 1 times 3 or just 3. Pero since internal hinge siya, negative 3 siya. So unstable siya. Okay? And then yung overall natin, yung total natin will be yung external plus internal natin, it should be 3 minus 3 or 0, meaning statically determinate yung structure natin. Okay? Statically determinate. Okay, or determinate. Next, we have the second frame na merong hinge as support, no? We have this one, okay, as external support. So we have 4 minus 3 is equals to 1 or statically indeterminate first degree. Internal, we have two internal hinges. So n minus 1 times 2. So members connected are 2 minus 1 times 2. So we have 2 or negative 2 or unstable tayo dito. Okay? And then yung total natin will be equals to, ano ba? So total natin is 1 minus 2 or negative 1, meaning unstable tayo dito for number 2. Okay, let me check lang. 2, 4, minus. Okay, unstable tayo. So maybe hindi ko na ito nabago dito, no? Unstable dapat to. Okay, we have this one, the third one, a continuous beam na merong apat na support. We have a hinge, a 3-roller. Okay, so external natin will be 2 plus 3. We have 5 minus 3, so 2. So statically indeterminate sa second degree. Then we have our internal, we have 3 hinges and then 2 connected members for each. So we have n minus 1 times 3. So we have 2 minus 1 times 3 or 3 is equals to negative 3. Okay. So external plus internal para sa to overall natin, that will be 2 minus 3 or negative 1 or we have an unstable connection ulit or stability natin is unstable tayo. Okay, for overall. Dito is unstable tayo in determinant. Okay, fourth one, we have a hinge, a roller, and then internal hinge. So we have yung external natin will be equals to 3 minus 3 is equals to 0. So therefore, stable tayo dito for external. We have our internal. So we have n minus 1 times one member lang. Two members pero one hinge lang. So 2 minus 1 is equals to 1 or negative 1, unstable. And then we have our total of E plus I. That will be 0 minus 1 is equals to negative 1. Therefore, unstable tayo for number 4. Or para doon sa overall stability niya. Okay? Then we have the last one. We have also a fixed connection. So we have ito as our support reactions, and then we have external. So yung external natin will be 6 minus 3. That will be 3, or statically indeterminate third degree. Internal stability will be n minus 1, 2 minus 1, 1, or also negative 1. Therefore, unstable tayo for internal, or negative 1 yung sagot. And then for total, we have negative E plus I. That will be 3 minus 1 or 2, or statically indeterminate sa second degree. Okay, so yeah. So ito. Okay, so ito lang yung namali ko ng highlight, no? A question for part 1 or clarification. Okay tayo sa part 1.
Yes po.
Okay. Next is yung sa problem solving na part. So pinapahanap yung support reaction and then internal forces do sa given beam. Pero ang instruction ko dun sa NEO is at point verify ko. No? Alam ko point B yung number 1, pero I'm not sure dun sa pangalawa kung saan yung naka-indicate. Let me check lang. Number 1 ay at point C pala. Ay, yung number 2 is at point C. Okay, so sa point na to. And then we have for number 1, we have at point B. Okay, dito lang. So baka nagkabaliktad lang, no? Baka nauna tong number 2 tapos number 1, pero the same lang yan. So let's start with the first one. So let me copy lang this problem. Okay, so number 1 is to find for our internal reaction. The support reaction muna and then internal reaction. So syempre yung force body diagram muna natin, yung FBD natin. Yung free body diagram natin. Okay, then we have it's simply supported, no? So we have dito, ganyan. So AY, AX, and then we have for C, CY. Okay, then convert ko na din yung mga ano natin to its equivalent concentrated load, no? So yung ECL natin, for the first one, we have 1/2, then 30 times 6.5. We have a total of 0.5, 30 times 6.5. So we have 97.5 Newton, kilonewton. Then for the second one, okay, we have 1/2, 45, and then yung length niya is 10. So we have 225 kilonewton. Okay, so let me graph lang. So naka ano siya is sa 1/3, no? At 1/3. So ito yung ating 97.5 kilonewton, and then ito yung ating okay, 225 kilonewton. Okay, so yung for the distances, ito, lagay natin is yung, lagay ko x1 to, x2, no? Para dito ko na lang gawin sa baba. Yung x1 natin will be 1/3 ng 6.5. So that is 6.5 divided 3. That's 2.17. Then yung x2 natin is 1/3 ng 10. So we have 3.33. Okay, and then itong remaining dito sa gitna natin will just be the sum ng remaining nila. So we have 6.5 minus yung 2.17 plus 10 minus 3.33. So that is 11. Okay, so kung iano nyo, magmo-moment tayo later, i-add na lang natin yung x1 and x2 on each value. Okay, next, support reaction tayo. So let's start with summation of moment at point A is equals to 0, taking clockwise as positive. Okay, so we have yung 97.5, mag-ano siya ng x1, so 2.17 plus yung 225 natin, magano siya ng 11 plus 2.17 equals or minus yung total distance natin ng 16.5 yung total natin. Okay. So minus CY 16.5. Okay, kasi yung kanyang rotation is clockwise no? Equals to 0. So calculate lang natin to. We have 97.5 over times yung distance plus 225. 11 plus 10 over 3. Okay. So 3436.25. Then transpose ko lang sa kabila yung isa. CY. Then divide natin both side by 16.5 para ma-isolate sa CY. So we have CY is equals to 208.26 kilonewton. Okay? So this will be our first value for the support reaction, yung CY natin mismo. And then, next is yung ating another support. So summation of moment, papunta kay C is equals to 0, taking counterclockwise as positive naman. Okay? So we have yung 225 natin times yung x2 natin, okay, which is 10 over 3 or 3.33 plus yung 97.5. Then ito travel niya is 11 plus yung 33.33 natin. Okay? Minus yung AY will rotate yung 16.5 CY, AY. And then si X natin, since along siya doon sa point, that will be 0. Okay? So calculating also this one, we have 225 times 10 over 3 plus 97.5 times 11 plus 10 over 3. So we have 2147.5. Then transpose to the other side, AY. Then divide natin both sides by 16.5. We have AY is equals to 130.152 kilonewton. Okay. Okay, so before we proceed, summation of fx is equals to 0, taking to the right as positive. So we have ax as the sole horizontal force. So we have ax is equals to 0. And then plus 1, we have summation of forces y is equals to 0 as our checking. We have positive, upward as positive. So we have ay, and then yung resultant forces natin, 97.5 minus 225 plus cy natin is equals to 0. So AY natin is 130.152 minus 97.5 minus 225 plus 208.26 is equals to 0. So 130.152 minus 97.5 minus 225 plus 208.26. That is kulang. Okay? So, sobra pala. So, check natin yung calculation natin if we have a mistake. Okay? We have 1/2 times 45 times 10, 225. Okay? So, check ko yung distance natin. Baka mali yung distance. 2/3 of 10. That's 11. Okay, so saan tayo mali? 0.5 times 30 times 6.5. That is 97.5 times 2.17 plus 225. Okay, double check yung pag-multiply. 11 plus 2.17. 317. So, okay, dito tayo may mali mali yung multiply ko kanina. Okay, so this should be 3174.83. Okay, so okay, so correct na yan. So, divide 16.5. So, we have 192.41. So, change natin to. I have 192.41. So, let's check kung mag-0. 97.5 minus 225 plus 192.41. That is 0.062 equals to 0. So, basically, equals sa 0 kasi nag-round off tayo kaya nagkameron ng change, no? Pero pag kinuha natin yung exact amount or exact values, that will be equal to 0. So, ito na yung values ng support reactions natin. Okay? So, double check ko na din, no, yung isa. Okay, 214. Okay? Divide 16.5. So, correct na yan. Okay, question sa support reaction. So, ito pa lang yung first part. Next part natin is yung internal reaction natin. Okay? Okay, so pinapakuha is yung point B. Okay, so you may opt to choose any side, pwedeng left side or yung right side. Pero ikunin ko na lang is yung ating right side, no? Ibig sabihin, ito yung kukunin natin na part. Okay? Ilagay natin dito. Ayan, so, okay lang tayo dyan. Okay. Ayan, so, yan yung beam natin. So, yung left side yung left segment yung kinonsider natin. So, kung yan yung kinat natin, may expose sa kanya. So, meron siyang normal force na going away o tension. Then, meron tayong shear na tendency niya is to rotate ng clockwise. And then, meron tayong moment na ang tendency niya is to concave it upward or to bend siya ng paganyan. Okay? Kaya papuntang ganito yung ating moment. Ito yung moment natin. And then, ito yung shear natin. Okay? Then to get yung mga values niyan, all we need to do is to use ulit yung equilibrium equations natin at point C na lang. Sige, nagamit na yung C dun sa taas. Gawin natin point S na lang. Okay? So for shear, we have summation of force. Sige, yung X muna. So 0, taking to the right as positive. So we have AX plus N is equals to 0. Pero since AX is 0, N will be equals to 0. So wala tayong normal force. And also hindi siya kasama dun sa lalagyan ng sagot, no? Doon sa new LMS. We have summation of Fy is equals to 0, taking upward as positive. So we have AY minus 97.5 minus B is equals to 0. So ang AY natin again is 130.152 minus 97.5 minus V is equals to 0. So transpose natin yung V, combine natin yung 130.152 with 97.5. we have 32.652 kilonewtons hour shear. Okay? Then last is yung ating moment. So summation of moment at S, at point S, equals to 0, taking to the right as positive. So 97.5 times, ano yung distance niya? So yung natitira dito, no? So ito yung 2/3 ng 6.5. So 2/3 ng 6.5. Then si isang rotation pa natin is si AY, pero siya ay opposing. So minus yung AY natin times distance is 6.5 total. Then plus M is equals to 0. Um, Substitute lang natin yung value ni AY, and then let's combine those values. 6.5 plus M is equals to 0. So M natin will be equals to 2/3 6.5 minus 130.152 6.5. That is a negative value sa transpose. So we have 423.488 kilonewton meter. So this will be our moment. Okay? So ito yung ating left segment. No? Okay, so yan yung internal forces natin. Ngayon, i-check din natin pag yung kabila naman, no? Para makita lang natin kung kung equal ba sila. Okay? So, we have this one, pero ang kukunin natin is yung kanyang ah, left side naman, no? Ay, yung right side naman ng segment ng natin. So, ano, okay. So, ayan. So, yung distances natin yan, so yung total natin is 10. So, this will be 2/3 ng 10. Okay? Then we have calculated value of CY is 192.41. Okay? So, dito, expose natin. So, meron tension na N. And then, meron tayong B na magka-clockwise siya. So, dapat pataas para mag-clockwise. And then, again, kailangan malilift o magko-concave upward yung ating beam. So, yung moment natin is direction niya is pag ganun. Okay. Alright, so, tawagin natin S yan. So, summation of forces, X is equals to 0, taking to the right as positive. Since we don't have any other horizontal force, so N will be equals to 0. Summation of Fy is equals to 0. Taking upward as positive. So we have yung B natin, and 225 minus yung Cy, plus pala, Cy is equals to 0. So B minus 225 plus 192.41 is equals to 0. So V is equals to negative 225 plus 192.41. That is a negative value. So transpose natin 32.59. So let's check kung pareha siya ng value. Okay, so 32 point something. So again, due to rounding off, may discrepancy konti, no? Pero 59 yung sagot natin sa kabila, 65 yun. So that is acceptable pa din. Okay? Then we have yung moment natin, summation of moment sa S equals to 0, taking clockwise as positive. So we have clockwise direction natin is yung M, plus yung 225 natin times 2/3 ng 10, then minus okay. So minus tayo ng CY times 10 equals to 0. Okay? So M plus 225, 2/3 ng 10 minus 192.41 times 10 is equals to 0. Moment natin is equals to 225, 2/3 times 10 minus 192.41 times 10. That is negative values of transpose. So we have 424.1 kilonewton meter. Okay. So check natin. 424 yun. So ito is 423.488. Again, due to um, rounding of numbers, may discrepancy siyang konti, no? Pero if you want to maintain yung equality niya, dapat itong dito na values, gagamitin mo is 2/3, 6.5 ng 3, tsaka 10/3 yung distances natin consistently. Okay? Pero ito po yung solution for number 1. Any question po for number 1 or clarification? Okay. Okay tayo dito? Okay. Number 2, we have this one. Okay, sa number 2 natin. Okay, so ito yun. So, we need to do first is change natin sa free body, no? So, we have a beam. Okay. And then, reaction natin since simple supported. So, hinge to. Then, we have vertical dito. So, AY, AX, then CY. Okay, applied reactions natin. We have a concentrated force at center na 5 kilonewton. Then, we have yung equivalent ECL natin dito. Na yung value niya, ECL natin for the triangle is 1/2, 3 times yung total distance natin is also 3. So we have 9/2 or 4.5 kilonewton. Okay, so this is 4.5 kilonewton. Then yung distance natin is 1/3. This is x1. Pagka natin x1. Okay. So try natin mag ano no, mag-round off kung mag-equal talaga. X1 natin will be 3/3 or 1.0. So ano naman pala? Sakto naman pala. Then we have ito. Itong distance na to is 3 meters. And then itong remaining distance na to will be 2 meters. Okay. So calculate the reaction, summation of moment at A is equals to 0. Taking to the right clockwise as positive. You have 4.5 times 1 plus 4 plus 5 times 3 is equals to total natin is 6. Okay? Or minus, may natin equal. Minus 6 CY is equals to 0. So we have 4.5 plus 15, then 6 CY. So CY natin is equals to 4.5 plus 15 divide natin ng 6. That is 3.25 kilonewton. Okay? So ito yung first value natin. Next, summation of moment papunta kay C is equals to 0, taking counterclockwise is positive. So we have yung 5 kilonewtons natin times 3 plus 4.5 times 5 and then minus 6 AY is equals to 0. So we have 15 plus 4.5 times 5 natin is just 22.5 minus 6 AY equals to 0. Transpose nyo si AY will be equals to 15 plus 2, 22.5 divide natin ng 6, that is 6.25 kilonewtons. Okay. Next is we have yung summation of Fx equals to 0. So taking to the right is positive, so Ax equals to 0. So since there's no other horizontal force, that will be our answer. Then summation of Fy to check our values, taking upward as positive. So we have Ay minus 4.5 minus 5 plus Cy natin is equals to 0. So we have 6.25 minus 4.5 minus 5 plus 3.25 equals to 0. 6.25 minus 4.5 minus 5 plus 3.25. That is exactly equal to 0. So ibig sabihin, our answer for the values of support reaction are correct. Okay, so ito na yung values natin for support reaction. Next is for the internal force. And then at point C, yung i-consider natin. Yes, ano pong question? May naka-raise ng hand kanina. Okay. Next is kukunin daw natin yung at point C, no? So, nasa gitna siya ng ating triangular load. Okay? So, sabihin, para sa internal reaction, we may opt to choose kung left or right. Okay? Pero before we do that, kailangan kunin muna natin yung magnitude niya kapag dun siya hinati sa portion na yun. Okay? So, sabihin tong area na to. So, recreate ko lang yung triangle na yun dito. Okay? Then we have ito yung gitna niya, no? Okay? Ito yung point C natin. So, kailangan natin kunin yung magnitude niya dito sa point na to. Okay? So, we have 3 na value dito. And then, ang total natin is 3.0. Okay? Then, ito is located siya 1.5. Okay? So, hindi natin alam yung magnitude niya. So, pwede tayo mag-ratio and proportion. So, we have yung total over, so, yung y over 1.5. Then, yung 3 kilonewton per meter over 3 meters. Okay? So, yung y natin will be, cross-multiply mo lang yung 1.5. So, that will be 1.5 kilonewton meter, no? So, naging eksakto siya doon sa half, kaya half lang din yung value niya dito. Okay? Okay? So, yan. Once na meron tayong value nun, we can now use yung left and right segment natin. So, starting off with our left segment, no? Yung left segment natin, dito parang mas lumalabas, mas mahirap yung left segment. Okay? Kasi magiging load mo is trapezoidal yung load mo. Like kapag yung right segment yung kinonsider natin, uh, yung ano natin is triangular load lang. Okay, so we have yung ating load. Ayan. So, meron tayong calculator dito na AY. Yung AY natin is 6.25. AX natin is 0. Distance natin is 3, is how much? 1.5. Okay, 1.55. Then yung ano natin dito is to ay 3 kilonewton per meter. And then ito is 1.5 kilonewton per meter. So again, yung suggestion ko pag may trapezoidal, you can use or uh, divide siya into two, no? So isang triangle tsaka isang rectangle uh, na figure. Okay? So para do sa ECL niya, we have ECL. So yung triangle natin is 1/2, 3 times 1.5. How much yan? 3, 1.5 times 0.5. That is 9/4 kilonewton. So ito yun. 9/4. Okay? Then yung rectangle natin is just base times height. So 1.5. Okay. So may isang mistake na agad pala ako, no? So dito, itong portion na to will be 3 minus 1.5. So dapat 1.5 na lang yung ano niya, no? Kasi ito 1.5 na daw to. Okay? Para do sa value natin. So this should be 1.5. Okay? So 1.5 times 1.5 times 0.5. Okay? So that is 9/8 or 1.125 kilonewton. Okay? So next we have 1.5 times 1.5. So is 2.25 kilonewton. And that value lies here. Okay? So pag ganitong may mga cut, ang kunin lang natin is yung mga distances niya papunta dun sa mismong cut section natin. Okay? So ito is half lang niya. So 0.75 to. And then yung sa triangle, 2/3 siya ng 2/3 ng total distance natin. That is 1. Yung distance niya. Okay? Then yung exposed forces natin, normal force is palayo sa kanya. Then shear force is pa-clockwise yung direction. And then concave upward yung kanyang moment. Okay? Now, summation of forces, x is equals to 0. So we have yung ax plus n is equals to 0 or n is equals to 0. So this will be our answer for normal force. We have summation of Fy is equals to 0. So we have 6.25 minus yung 1.125 natin minus 2.25 and then minus V is equals to 0. So transpose lang natin si V. So 6.25 minus 1.125 minus 2.25. That is 2.875 kilonewton. Okay? So later, we verify natin. Summation of moment. Gawin ko tong point S. Okay? S is equals to 0. So taking to the right as positive. So we have 2.25 times 0.75 plus 1.125 times 1.0. Then yung 6.25, so minus 6.25 times 1.5, and then last is yung moment natin, which is also counterclockwise, plus m is equals to 0. So 2.25 times 0.75, 1.125 times 1 minus 6.25 times 1.5. That is negative value, so transpose, so m is equals to 6.5625 kilonewton meter. Okay? So this is our values kapag left segment yung kinuha natin. Okay? Next is kunin natin yung right segment para mapakita natin. So makikita nyo dito, mapapansin nyo, kung yung right segment yung kukonsider natin, ang forces natin is yung triangular dito, and then ito, Tapos ito lang. Okay? Pero ang kagandahan, isang triangle lang, isang figure lang tayo dito. So kukunin lang natin yung ECL nun. Then, tsaka natin i-moment dito sa side na to. Okay? So let's do that. So right segment natin will be this one. Okay. Then we have here a triangular load. Then meron tayong side load. Okay, CY natin, nakuha na natin ang value niyan. That is 3.25. Okay. Then kunin natin yung ECL nitong triangle. So ECL, so 1/2. So ito na-calculate natin na 1.5 siya, then 1.5 yung distance, no? 1.5 times 1.5. So 1.5 times 1.5 times 0.5, that is 1.125 kilonewton. Okay? So yung value niya yan will be somewhere here, 1.125 kilonewton. Yung distance niya is 1.5 over 3 or 0.5. Okay? And total distance nito is 1.5 plus 3, so 4.5 tayo dito. Then yung ating internal forces will be normal force going tensile, then shear force na magka-clockwise, so dapat upward siya. Then we have a concave upward na moment or magtatend na i-bend siya pataas. Okay, so let's do yung ating internal forces. So summation of Fx equals to 0 and is equals to 0 because there's no other force, horizontal force. Summation of Fy is equals to 0, taking upward as positive. So we have V minus 1.125 minus 5 plus 3.25 is equals to 0. So that will net with 1.125 minus 5 plus 3.25. So 2.875 transpose natin para maging positive kilonewton. Let's check kung the same siya. Okay? 2.875, 2.875. So the same, no? Okay, and then we have summation of moment at point S equals to 0, taking clockwise as positive. So we have clockwise natin si moment plus 1.125 times 0.5 plus 1 plus 5 times 1.5 and then minus yung 3.25 times 4.5 natin. Okay, is equals to 0. So, kunin natin yung sum nun. 1.125 times 0.5 plus 5 times 1.5 minus 3.25 times 4.5. That is equals to 6.5625. So, transpose natin. So, 6.5625 kilonewton meter. That is our answer. So, let's check. 6.5625. So, same value. That means correct yung internal forces natin, which should be 2.875 for shear and then 6.5625 for moment. Okay? So, ayan po yung ating answer key for our prelim exam. Question? Okay? Okay tayo dito?
Okay na po.
Okay. So, ayan. So, ito yung ating, so, ilan na na-consume natin? 1 hour, no? Okay. So, kaya pa yung discussion natin. So, this will be uploaded also sa new LMS natin so that you can review or check or kung gusto nyong aralin, you may, no? Para, yan, kahit pa paano may souvenir kayo ng ating prelim. Okay? So, save ko lang to and then we will start with our discussion. Okay? So, for a while,